Imagine for a moment that everything you desire already exists, that your longings are not waiting to be created, but simply awaiting your call. What if I told you that a way exists, a subtle key, an ancient language, that when pronounced with perfect alignment, possesses the power to transform your life without exception? Today we speak of that key, the metaphysical prayer, the ultimate manifestation technology. It is not a devotional plea, not a desperate supplication, nor random words repeated thoughtlessly into the void. It is an act of conscious creation, a spiritual technology as precise as it is ancient. It concerns the use of the verb, the word pronounced with intention, emotion, and coherent thought, as a tool of absolute manifestation and reality restructuring. Many spiritual masters told us this in countless forms throughout history, but the essence remained identical. Everything you ask from total internal coherence manifests without exception or delay. Because it is not about asking, it is about knowing, about feeling, about vibrating at the frequency of what you desire to become. We live immersed in a reality responding not to what we say with our mouths, but to what we declare with our entire being, body, mind, and soul unified. This explains why many people pray, yet receive nothing. They desire but see no fruit. The error lies not in the prayer itself, but in how it is offered and from what state it originates. The verb alone is insufficient. It resembles launching an arrow without tension in the bowstring. It possesses no force, no direction, no power. This video is a guide, a revelation for those ready to transform their relationship with reality. We will dismantle the myths surrounding prayer. We will enter its invisible architecture, understand its vibrational essence, and discover why a prayer spoken from the end, from the fulfilled state, holds the power to materialize any reality without exception. We will explore its esoteric and historical context, its foundation in sacred teachings across civilizations, and most importantly, the precise steps you must follow, so your prayer ceases being a cry into the void and becomes a fertile seed that blooms magnificently. We are not here begging a distant God. We are here to remember that the kingdom dwells within us, and whoever prays from the kingdom does not ask. They declare with absolute authority and certainty, born from inner knowing and soul alignment. Prayer has been for millennia a bridge between the human and the divine. But before it became ritual, it was vibration. Before it became word, it was intention. And before it was domesticated by religions, it was a secret tool of initiates, a true spiritual science wielded by those who understood reality's deepest mechanics. In ancient mystery schools of Egypt, Greece, and India, a profound teaching was transmitted. The universe was created through sound, not symbolically, but literally. The logos, the creative word, was not metaphor, but living force, the spoken word as the vibrating structurer of matter itself. In the papyrus of Ani, the gods modeled the cosmos by pronouncing the secret names of all things. Each word in that core text was a vibratory key. To say something was to give it existence and power. The Bible captures this truth in its purest form. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. In Genesis, it does not say God thought light into existence, nor that he felt it. It says, "And God said, 'Let there be light,' and it was." That, said, is the key. What is named activates. What is declared manifests into material reality. Yet, across centuries, This knowledge fragmented and distorted. Prayer became supplication, repetitive recitation, an act of blind faith, disconnected from understanding. What was spiritual alchemy became empty routine. What once was conscious creation art transformed into fear dressed as devotion. People begged an external God instead of activating the creative power of the God dwelling within their own being. It was in the 20th century that echoes of this forgotten wisdom began resurging powerfully. Various philosophers, deeply influenced by new thought currents, began teaching that true prayer does not petition but affirms. That one does not pray to obtain something, but to align your vibration with what already is in the invisible plane. They called this praying from the end. Not from absence, but from fulfillment. Not from need, but from completion. Other metaphysical thinkers stated it clearly. Your word is your magic wand. But not any word. Only that pronounced from total coherence between thought, emotion, and speech itself. Metaphysical prayer functions not through repetition, but through harmonic vibration. This idea is not modern. It is a reactivation of very ancient truths about the nature of consciousness and reality, creation itself. Metaphysical prayer is a technology of the soul. It is not emotional invocation without direction, nor a recitation repeated until exhaustion dulls the mind. It is an act of multidimensional alignment, a reordering of your personal vibrational field, so that external reality reflects an internal reality already established and integrated. And that changes everything about how you experience existence itself. To understand how this prayer functions, we must examine its three fundamental pillars: thought, emotion, and the spoken word. Each possesses power separately, but it is in their total alignment where true manifestation occurs, where invisible becomes visible, where potential becomes actual. First, thought as the sacred seed. Everything begins with a thought, but not any thought. One charged with intention, born from soul desire rather than ego fear. In metaphysical prayer, thinking is not merely imagining. It is sowing. It is placing an archetypal image in your vibrational field. It is seeing internally to create externally, rather than waiting to see before believing. But beware. If your thought is contaminated by doubt, contradiction, or disbelief, the seed cannot root. The thought must be clear, directed, like a mental arrow, pointing precisely at the center of what you desire to manifest. Otherwise, it disperses, dissolves uselessly. Remember, imagination sustained with faith is the key to miracles. Second, emotion as the water that nourishes. A thought without emotion is sterile, like seed cast upon stone. It requires being watered by genuine feeling. Here we speak not of reactive emotion, but of resonance. You must feel, truly feel, that what you are declaring already exists as real, that it already inhabits your energetic field completely. This is the most ignored step. Many pray thinking about what they desire, while vibrating in the absence of not having it. Their emotion contradicts what their mind affirms. In metaphysics, this is called vibrational incoherence. And where incoherence exists, manifestation cannot occur. Want to attract love? Feel love. Desire abundance. Feel already sustained and provided for. The correct emotion is water to the plant, invisible, yet absolutely vital. Third, the verb as creative order. Finally comes the word, pronounced aloud, the sound spoken from certainty itself. This is when the invisible begins taking form. In metaphysical prayer, the word is not descriptive, but creative. You do not describe how you feel. You declare what already is in the realm beyond sight. Here the divine principle emerges. God said, "Let there be light." Not thought, not desired. Said. The verb is vibratory action, resonance that modifies the field itself. What distinguishes metaphysical prayer from any other form of spiritual petition is the interior place from which it originates. While most pray from lack, "Give me what I do not have, fill my emptiness," metaphysical prayer operates from the opposite principle. Everything already is. One does not pray from absence but from certainty, not from anxiety of emptiness, but from fullness of fulfillment already achieved in the invisible realm. This principle is simultaneously the most powerful key and the greatest challenge for the ego, because it demands completely abandoning the identity that suffers, that needs, that feels separate from source. For the conditioned mind, this represents a form of death, a dissolution of the familiar self-concept that has defined you for years. Imagine you desire manifesting a new life, abundance, love, vibrant health. The traditional approach leads you to request its arrival through prayer. But metaphysics says differently. Become that version of yourself already living that reality. Speak as she speaks. Feel as she feels. Think and act as though this were your current identity present now. This act of embodying desired reality before seeing it with physical eyes. This is true prayer. The prayer that moves mountains and restructures worlds. Here appears a powerful paradox. You cannot receive the new if you remain unwilling to die to the old self. Remember these words of Jesus. Unless you are born again, you cannot see the kingdom. Being born again means dying to the identity of the one who pleads and being reborn as the one who declares with authority. But this demands something profound, emptying yourself, emptying the character feeling limited, unworthy, abandoned. Of beliefs sustained for years, I cannot, I do not deserve, this is not for me. This is not achieved through repeating phrases mechanically. It is achieved through recognizing the deception, deactivating the illusion of scarcity, and choosing to inhabit the kingdom's frequency, which is not a place, but a state of consciousness itself. Therefore, one essential step of metaphysical prayer is what Scripture calls, "Enter your room and close the door." It does not reference physical space, but closing the door to the external world, opinions, judgments, collective doubt. It is an act of interior retreat where your soul aligns with Source itself. It is the secret sanctuary where no interference exists, only you, your vision, and the creative principle. And in that silence occurs something subtle yet irreversible. You become the channel, not the controller. You cease attempting to move reality through force and instead permit what vibrates with you to approach naturally. You do not need to be on your knees to pray. You do not need elevated words, incense, or external altars. What you need is something more intimate, more radical, more truthful. A life that is itself a constant prayer. A life lived from certainty rather than waiting. From creation rather than reaction. Here are 5 essential practices transforming your daily life into fertile ground where every metaphysical prayer is fulfilled. First, pray with your lifestyle, not only with your lips. Do you desire abundance? How do you walk each day? From scarcity or gratitude? Do you want love? How do you speak to yourself in silent moments? Every gesture, every sustained thought, every emotion is a living affirmation. Treat each moment as creation. Stop asking, "Why does my prayer not arrive?" Ask instead, "How am I vibrating today?" Second, enter your secret room daily. Create space, even 5 minutes, where you close your eyes to the world and enter yourself. It may be meditation, visualization, or conscious breathing. This habit returns you to center, to kingdom, to the state where coherence flourishes. Do not wait to have time. Make this moment your priority. Your entire reality is built upon it. Third, guard your word as sacred fire. Every word you pronounce is an energetic order. Say what you desire to flourish. Stop affirming what you do not wish to see grow. Replace phrases like, "I cannot," "This is difficult," "There is no way," with declarations charged with faith. "This resolves itself," "I solve this," "Everything favors me." The spoken word configures reality at subtle levels. Fourth, align your environment with your vision. You cannot vibrate in health surrounded by chaos. You cannot manifest clarity living in disorder. Your physical space must reflect the final state you desire. Order your home as though you already lived your new reality. Dress, walk, choose as if your prayer already manifested. This action generates resonance with the fulfilled state. Fifth, eliminate urgency. Time is an illusion. Anxious desire repels manifestation. Urgency springs from lack of faith. If it were already real, you would be at peace, not impatient. That peace is the vibration attracting manifestation. Pray, give thanks, then release. Like one planting a seed knowing it will sprout, though today you see nothing. Trust the invisible process absolutely and completely. We have arrived at a point where we speak no longer merely of words, but of identity itself. Metaphysical prayer is not a technique, but a posture before life. It is the conscious choice to live as creator rather than victim. It is transitioning from being someone waiting for miracles to becoming the living channel through which those miracles express themselves into material reality. You have understood that true prayer is not a supplication launched toward heaven. It is a declaration pronounced from the soul itself, from the deepest knowing within you. It does not say, "Please, let this happen." It says, "Thank you," because it already is. In that small difference lies the greatest spiritual secret. The universe responds not to what you desire, but to what you already give for granted within yourself completely. We explored how thought initiates the process, how emotion vivifies it, and how the spoken word seals it into material existence. How each prayer is a vibrational configuration that, if born from deep coherence, transforms the field of possibility itself. We understood that the common error is not desiring, but desiring from lack, from fear, from disconnection from source and wholeness. The greatest obstacle to your prayer's fulfillment is not the external world. It is the frequency from which you speak. Can you manifest peace if you pray with anxiety? Can you attract abundance if you declare from fear? No. Because the word is not only heard, it is vibrated. And vibration never lies about your true state. This is why metaphysical prayer demands courage, because it asks you to embody today a version of yourself you cannot yet see with physical eyes, but which already pulses in the invisible realm. It asks you to maintain certainty when everything outside seems to deny it completely. It asks you to live as though you already are what you are still gestating into form. And that is not illusion. That is spiritual fidelity. When you enter that secret room, that state of being where everything is already fulfilled, you cease begging the universe and begin co-creating with it. Your word becomes law when it emerges from your true self. Everything aligns. The impossible becomes inevitable. You discover that prayer was never about convincing God. It was always about remembering who you truly are. A creator speaking worlds into being through the sacred power of your word, made manifest and alive.